The massive starship Invictus cruised silently through the darkness of deep space, its metallic hull gleaming under distant starlight. Captain Soo-Jin Park stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the view screen as status reports flowed in from various stations. "Captain, we're detecting an unusual energy signature," reported Navigator Taeho Kim, his fingers dancing across his console. "Unknown origin, but it appears to be directed at us." Soo-Jin frowned. They were far from Earth space, on a mission of exploration and diplomacy. Encountering other species was always a possibility, but this particular region had been charted as empty. Analysis, Lieutenant Du-hyun. The science officer looked up from his station, concern evident on his face. "It's a scan of some kind, Captain. But it's penetrating our systems at an alarming rate. They're accessing not just our ship specifications, but historical archives as well." Security Chief Ji-Woo Lee moved swiftly to the captain's side. "Ma'am, they're downloading our entire military history database. I recommend immediate countermeasures." Before Soo-Jin could respond, the scan abruptly terminated. On the view screen, a sleek, crystalline vessel that had been hovering just at sensor range suddenly accelerated away at incredible speed. "They're retreating," Ji-Woo said, surprise evident in her voice. Soo-Jin narrowed her eyes. "But why? And what exactly did they learn about us?" The bridge fell silent as the crew processed what had just happened. This was humanity's first contact with an alien species in this sector, and it had begun with what felt like an invasion of privacy. "Track their course," Soo-Jin ordered, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. "I want to know where they're headed." Taeho worked his console, but his expression soon turned to one of disbelief. "Captain, they're gone. Their speed exceeded our tracking capabilities within seconds." Soo-Jin paced the bridge, her mind racing. 20 years as a captain in Earth's space fleet had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now those instincts were screaming that something was very wrong. "What exactly did they access, Du-hyun?" The science officer pulled up a detailed report on his screen. "The scan was unlike anything in our records. It bypassed our firewalls, as if they weren't even there." He scrolled through the data, his face growing paler. "They downloaded our complete military archives, Earth's entire war history from ancient times to modern conflicts. Weapons specifications, battle tactics, military psychology studies." "That's not good," Soo-Jin muttered. Earth's bloody history was not the ideal first impression for a peaceful contact. Engineer Min Soo-Choi spoke up from his station. "Captain, I've analyzed the scan technology they used. It's at least 3 generations beyond our most advanced systems. Whoever they are, they're technologically superior to us by a significant margin." Soo-Jin nodded grimly. "And now they know everything about our military capabilities." She turned to Communications Officer Yuna Kang. "Prepare a message to Earth Command. Priority Alpha. We need to inform them of this contact." "Yes, Captain," Yuna replied, her fingers already moving across her console. Just then, the ship's sensors pinged again. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures," Taeho reported, his voice rising slightly. "Similar to the first, but there are 7 of them now. They're approaching from different vectors." On screen, Soo-Jin ordered. The view screen shifted to show the vast emptiness of space, but soon small points of light became visible, growing larger as they approached. They were ships similar to the first one, crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them, making them difficult to focus on. "They're surrounding us," Ji-Woo observed, her hand moving instinctively to the weapons console. "Standard encirclement formation." Soo-Jin raised her hand. "No aggressive moves. We don't know their intentions yet." "Captain, they're scanning us again," Du-hyun reported. "But this time they're focusing on our weapons systems and defensive capabilities." The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every crew member understood the significance of this moment. Humanity's first contact with an alien species could either open up new possibilities for peace and cooperation, or lead to conflict. Open a channel. Sujin decided. All frequencies. Let's try to communicate. Yuna worked her console. Channel open. Captain. Sujin straightened her uniform and spoke clearly. This is Captain Sujin Park of the Earth Exploration Vessel Invictus *. We come in peace and wish to establish friendly contact. Your scan of our systems was unexpected, but we harbor no ill will. Please respond. The bridge crew waited in tense silence. Seconds stretched into minutes with no response. They're still scanning us, Do-hyun reported. I believe they're trying to assess if we're being truthful. Suddenly, the alien ships began to move. They tightened their formation around the Invictus *, closing in from all sides. Captain, they're charging weapons, Ju-woo reported, her voice urgent but controlled. Energy readings indicate offensive capabilities far beyond our shield's tolerance. Sujin made a quick decision. Raise shields, but do not arm weapons. I repeat, do not arm weapons. She turned to Yuna. Keep broadcasting our peaceful intentions on all frequencies. The alien ships drew closer, their crystalline structures now clearly visible through the viewscreen. They were beautiful in an alien way, geometric patterns that seemed to shift and change as they moved, catching and reflecting starlight in hypnotic patterns. Captain, Yuna called out, excitement in her voice. I'm receiving something. It's faint, but it appears to be a response. Put it through, Sujin ordered. A series of musical tones filled the bridge, rising and falling in complex patterns. Can we translate it? Sujin asked. Do-hyun was already working on it. The computer is analyzing the patterns. It might take some time, To. He was interrupted by a sudden lurch as the ship shuddered violently. We're being pulled, Captain, Min-soo reported from engineering. Some kind of tractor beam or gravitational technology. They're forcing us to move with them. Sujin gripped the arms of her command chair. Where are they taking us? Taiho checked his navigational sensors. Based on our current trajectory, they appear to be guiding us toward the fifth planet in this system. It's a gas giant with multiple moons. Sujin took a deep breath. This first contact was not going as planned, but she was determined to maintain control of the situation. Whatever these aliens had learned from their scan of human history, it had clearly alarmed them enough to respond with force. Now her crew's lives, and possibly the future of human-alien relations, depended on her next decisions. All hands, prepare for possible emergency maneuvers, she announced ship-wide. But no one is to take offensive action without my direct order. We still have a chance to make this a peaceful first contact. The Invictus continued its forced journey toward the unknown, surrounded by the silent, gleaming alien ships. Aboard the Concordat diplomatic vessel Luminous Harmony Fleet Commander Mun Hee-choi stared in horror at the data streaming across her display. The information extracted from the human warship painted a terrifying picture. A species with thousands of years of continuous warfare, weapons development accelerating at an exponential rate, and tactical doctrines that emphasized decisive, overwhelming force. This cannot be accurate, she whispered to Science Director Sung-ho Ba. No species could survive such continuous conflict. Sung-ho's facial ridges pulsed with agitation. The data is consistent. These humans have fought more wars among themselves than the entire Concordat has experienced in its 10,000 years of existence. Admiral Hyun-woo Kang, Supreme Military Commander of the Concordat Fleet, studied the schematics of the human vessel. Their warship carries weapon systems we cannot even identify. The energy readings suggest destructive capabilities that could threaten an entire planet. We must convene the council immediately, Mun Hee declared. This human vessel could be the vanguard of an invasion force. Meanwhile, aboard the Invictus Captain Sujin was attempting peaceful contact. Transmit on all frequencies and in all known linguistic formats, she ordered Communications Officer Yun Ji-yoon. Make it clear we come in peace and wished to establish diplomatic relations. But the Concordat, interpreting the human attempts at communication as aggressive posturing, began deploying its defensive fleet. The stage was set for a terrible misunderstanding. The emergency meeting chamber of the Luminous Harmony filled quickly. Representatives from the 7 major species of the Galactic Concordat took their places around the circular table. The air hummed with nervous energy as holographic displays showed the human vessel from multiple angles. Munhi stood at the center. Honored representatives, we face an unprecedented situation. Our routine scan of an unknown ship has revealed a species unlike any we have encountered before. She gestured, and a timeline of human warfare appeared in the air. The display showed thousands of years of conflict, from ancient battles with primitive weapons to modern warfare with devastating technologies. These humans have spent their entire history fighting each other, she explained. Their technological development is driven primarily by military needs. They have weapons designed specifically to kill other members of their own species. The chamber filled with sounds of shock and dismay. For the peaceful species of the Concordat, the concept was almost impossible to comprehend. How can any species survive such behavior? Asked the representative from Villara, her translucent skin paling with distress. Science Director Sung Ho stepped forward. We believe they evolved as predators on a highly competitive world. Fighting is in their nature. More concerning is their rate of advancement. He pointed to the final section of the timeline. In just the last 200 years, they have progressed from primitive chemical explosives to nuclear weapons, antimatter containment, and directed energy systems. Admiral Hanwu activated a new display showing the Invictus itself. This vessel carries weapon systems that could destroy an entire Concordat colony world. Its hull is reinforced to withstand heavy damage. It has redundant systems that would allow it to continue fighting even after sustaining critical hits. The chamber grew silent as the implications sank in. Are we certain this is a warship? Asked the Trillion representative, his voice resonating from 3 separate speech organs. Could it be a peaceful vessel? Sung Ho shook his head. Our scans are clear. While they claim to be on an exploration mission, the vessel is heavily armed. In human history, exploration has always preceded conquest. On the main display, a new alert appeared. The human ship was broadcasting signals on multiple frequencies. They are attempting to communicate, Munhi said. Our linguists are working to decode their messages, but preliminary analysis suggests they are demanding we identify ourselves. Demanding? The Velaran representative asked, her voice trembling. Their language structure is inherently aggressive, Sung Ho explained. Even their peaceful statements contain implicit threats. They are a species that understands power above all else. Admiral Hanwu stepped forward. I recommend immediate containment. We must surround their vessel with superior force to prevent any aggressive action. If they truly come in peace, they will surrender when faced with overwhelming odds. The council voted quickly, fear driving their decision. 7 ships would encircle the human vessel, ready to destroy it at the first sign of hostile action. Back on the Invictus the mood was growing increasingly tense. Still no response to our messages, Yunji reported, but they're definitely receiving them. I can detect analysis algorithms working on our transmissions. Admiral Hyunwoo Kang, Supreme Military Commander of the Concordat Fleet, studied the schematics of the human vessel. Their warship carries weapon systems we cannot even identify. The energy readings suggest destructive capabilities that could threaten an entire planet. We must convene the council immediately, Munhi declared. This human vessel could be the vanguard of an invasion force. Meanwhile, aboard the Invictus Captain Su-jin was attempting peaceful contact. Transmit on all frequencies and in all known linguistic formats, she ordered Communications Officer Yun Ji-yoon. Make it clear we come in peace and wish to establish diplomatic relations. But the Concordat, interpreting the human attempts at communication as aggressive posturing, began deploying its defensive fleet. The stage was set for a terrible misunderstanding. The emergency meeting chamber of the asterisk Luminous Harmony asterisk filled quickly. Representatives from the 7 major species of the Galactic Concordat took their places around the circular table. The air hummed with nervous energy as holographic displays showed the human vessel from multiple angles. Munhee stood at the center. Honored representatives, we face an unprecedented situation. Our routine scan of an unknown ship has revealed a species unlike any we have encountered before. She gestured, and a timeline of human warfare appeared in the air. The display showed thousands of years of conflict, from ancient battles with primitive weapons to modern warfare with devastating technologies. These humans have spent their entire history fighting each other, she explained. Their technological development is driven primarily by military needs. They have weapons designed specifically to kill other members of their own species. The chamber filled with sounds of shock and dismay. For the peaceful species of the Concordat, the concept was almost impossible to comprehend. How can any species survive such behavior? Asked the representative from Villara, her translucent skin paling with distress. Science Director Sun Ho stepped forward. We believe they evolved as predators on a highly competitive world. Fighting is in their nature. More concerning is their rate of advancement. He pointed to the final section of the timeline. In just the last 200 years, they have progressed from primitive chemical explosives to nuclear weapons, antimatter containment, and directed energy systems. Admiral Hanmu activated a new display showing the asterisk Invictus asterisk itself. This vessel carries weapon systems that could destroy an entire Concordat colony world. Its hull is reinforced to withstand heavy damage. It has redundant systems that would allow it to continue fighting even after sustaining critical hits. The chamber grew silent as the implications sank in. Are we certain this is a warship? Asked the Trillion representative, his voice resonating from 3 separate speech organs. Could it be a peaceful vessel? Sung Ho shook his head. Our scans are clear. While they claim to be on an exploration mission, the vessel is heavily armed. In human history, exploration has always preceded conquest. On the main display, a new alert appeared. The human ship was broadcasting signals on multiple frequencies. They are attempting to communicate, Munhee said. Our linguists are working to decode their messages, but preliminary analysis suggests they are demanding we identify ourselves. Demanding? The Velaran representative asked, her voice trembling. Their language structure is inherently aggressive, Sun Ho explained. Even their peaceful statements contain implicit threats. They are a species that understands power above all else. Admiral Hanmu stepped forward. I recommend immediate containment. We must surround their vessel with superior force to prevent any aggressive action. If they truly come in peace, they will surrender when faced with overwhelming odds. The council voted quickly, fear driving their decision. 7 ships would encircle the human vessel, ready to destroy it at the first sign of hostile action. Back on the asterisk Invictus asterisk, the mood was growing increasingly tense. Still no response to our messages, Yunju reported, but they're definitely receiving them. I can detect analysis algorithms working on our transmissions. A message flashed across their communications array, translated by the ship's AI. Unknown vessel. You will powder down ilal systems and prepare for boarding. Any resistance will be met with lethal force. Captain Sujin's jaw tightened. Deploy defensive screens, but do not arm weapons. Yet. Xenolinguist Yuna Park worked frantically at her station. Captain, I believe there's a fundamental misunderstanding. Their language contains contextual markers suggesting extreme fear. Fear? Of us? Sujin questioned incredulously. Young diplomatic officer Han Bin Quan stepped forward. Captain, I think I understand. Their scan. They saw our military archives. Earth's history of warfare must appear barbaric to a species without similar conflicts. As if confirming his theory, one of the alien vessels fired what appeared to be a warning shot. Instantly, the Invictus Asterisks automated point defense system neutralized it with a precision energy pulse. The bridge fell silent as they watched the alien ships recoil in formation, clearly shocked by the effectiveness of the human defense systems. "Now we've done it," muttered Jiwoo. "They fired first, but our response has terrified them even more." The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every crew member stood frozen at their stations, eyes locked on the view screen where the 7 alien ships had widened their formation after witnessing the Invictus Asterisk's defensive capabilities. "Did we just shoot down their weapon?" Navigator Tahoe asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Point defense did," Jiwoo confirmed. "It's automatic when incoming projectiles are detected. I didn't even have time to override it." Captain Sujin gripped the arms of her command chair, her knuckles white. This situation was spiraling out of control. What had begun as a simple exploration mission now teetered on the edge of becoming the first interspecies war in human history. "Yuna," she called to the xenolinguist, "I need options. How do we communicate that we don't want to fight?" Yuna's fingers flew across her console. "I'm analyzing their message structure. There's something unusual about it. The syntax suggests not just fear, but almost reverence, as if they're addressing something they consider extremely dangerous yet worthy of respect." Hanbin moved to Yuna's station, studying the alien text. "It's like they're talking to a natural disaster or a god of war. Not an enemy, exactly, but a force they can't comprehend." Outside, the alien ships began a new formation. They spread out in a hemisphere above the Invictus Asterisk, leaving the path behind the human ship open. "They're giving us a way out," Security Chief Jiwoo noted. "Tactical retreat formation." Sujin shook her head. "We're not running. That would only confirm whatever fears they have about us." She turned to Yuna. "Send this message. We mean no harm." The defensive action was automatic. "We request peaceful communication." As Yuna prepared the transmission, the science station beeped urgently. Lieutenant Do-hyun looked up from his readings with alarm. "Captain, they're charging weapons, all ships, simultaneously. Shields to maximum." Sujin ordered calmly. "Continue broadcasting our message. All channels." Jiwoo stepped forward. "Captain, with all due respect, we need to arm weapons. If they all fire at once—" "No," Sujin cut her off firmly. "The moment we arm our weapons is the moment we confirm every fear they have about humanity. We stay defensive." The alien ships glowed with gathered energy, their crystalline structures channeling power to weapon ports that now aimed directly at the Invictus Asterisk. "Message sent," Yuna reported. "But I don't think they're listening anymore." "They're firing," Jiwoo shouted. 7 beams of brilliant light shot forth from the alien vessels, converging toward the Invictus Asterisk. The shield systems automatically redistributed power to the impact points, causing the ship to glow as it absorbed the assault. The bridge shook violently. Status alerts blared from multiple stations. "Shields at 60%, Engineer Min-soo reported from his station. "They're more powerful than we estimated. Hold position," Sujin ordered. "Do not return fire." The alien vessels paused, seemingly surprised that the human ship was still intact. "They expected to destroy us with that volley," Hanbin observed. "They don't understand our defensive capabilities." "Captain," Yuna called out suddenly, "I've processed more of their language structure. I think I can communicate more effectively now." She looked up, her eyes wide with realization. "They're not actually demanding surrender in the way we understand it. They're asking for proof of peaceful intent." "What kind of proof?" Sujin asked. "In their language, power systems are linked to intention. Powered weapons mean hostile intent, regardless of action. It's fundamental to their thinking." "So they want us to power down completely?" Jiwoo asked incredulously. "That would leave us defenseless." Han Bin joined the conversation, not completely defenseless. Captain, I believe I understand their culture now. They're a consensus-based species. Their ships move in formation because they think collectively. They don't understand our individualistic approach. What are you suggesting? Su Jin asked. A gesture they can't misinterpret. Something that transcends language. Su Jin considered for a moment, then made her decision. Lower shields. Captain. Ji Woo couldn't hide her shock. Lower shields, but maintain life support and communication systems only. Power down everything else. That's incredibly risky, Ji Woo protested. If they fire again. They won't, Su Jin said with more confidence than she felt. Han Bin is right. We need a gesture they can't misinterpret. Slowly, the Invictus powered down its systems. The familiar hum of the engines faded to silence. The lights dimmed to emergency levels. On the outside, the glow of the shields vanished, leaving the ship exposed and vulnerable. We're completely defensive now, Min Su reported. Only life support and communications remain active. Yuna, send one more message, Su Jin ordered. Tell them we have disabled our defenses as a sign of trust. We request face-to-face communication. The bridge crew held their breath as the message was transmitted. Outside, the alien ships remained in formation, their weapons still charged but not firing. Something's happening, Taiho reported, watching his sensors. One of their ships is breaking formation. It's approaching us. The largest of the crystalline vessels moved slowly toward the Invictus, its weapons ports still glowing with energy. They could destroy us with a single shot now, Jigu said quietly. But they won't, Su Jin replied. Because now they're curious. The alien ship drew alongside the Invictus, close enough that its crystalline structure was clearly visible through the viewports. It was beautiful in an alien way, geometric patterns that seemed to flow like liquid despite being solid. We're receiving a new transmission, Yuna reported. Different format. I think, yes, it's a request to board. They want to come aboard our ship? Jiwoo asked, alarmed. No, Yuna clarified. They're inviting Captain Su Jin to board their vessel. Alone. All eyes turned to the captain. The invitation was unprecedented and potentially a trap. Su Jin stood from her command chair. Well then, let's not keep our host waiting. Captain, this could be a trap, Jiwoo warned. At minimum, we should send a security team with you. That would defeat the purpose of the gesture, Su Jin replied. Sometimes the greatest strength comes from appearing vulnerable. She straightened her uniform. If I'm not back in 3 hours, resume full power and retreat to Earth space. That's an order. As Su Jin prepared to board the alien vessel, the crew of the Invictus watched in tense silence. The fate of first contact, and possibly all future relations between humans and the Concordat, now rested on their captain's shoulders. I've done it, Yun-At exclaimed after hours of intensive work. I've established a basic translation matrix. We can communicate directly now. Captain Su Jin wasted no time. Open a channel to their command vessel. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent skin and facial ridges. Captain Su Jin took a deep breath. This is Captain Su Jin Park of the Earth exploration vessel Invictus. We mean you no harm. I believe there has been a misunderstanding. After a pause, the alien responded, the translation coming through in stilted but understandable language. I am Fleet Commander Munhee of the Galactic Concordat. Your vessel's weapons capabilities and your species' history of violence represent an unacceptable threat. Commander, the weapons you detected are defensive in nature, Su Jin explained carefully. Human ships venture into unknown space. We must be prepared to protect ourselves, but our mission is peaceful exploration. After tense negotiations, both leaders agreed to meet on a neutral platform, a small asteroid at the periphery of the system. There, Captain Su Jin brought evidence of peaceful human space exploration missions, scientific endeavors, and diplomatic protocols. The shuttle journey to the asteroid was tense. Captain Sujin sat quietly, reviewing the materials she had prepared on her datapad. Beside her, diplomatic officer Han Bin and sinolinguist Yuna exchanged nervous glances. "Do you think they'll listen?" Han Bin asked, breaking the silence. Sujin looked up from her datapad. "They agreed to meet. That's a start." The shuttle pilot's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, we're approaching the asteroid. The Concordat vessel has already landed." Through the viewport, they could see the small, rocky surface of the asteroid. It was barely 2 kilometers across, its surface pitted with craters. Near its center, a flat area had been cleared, and on it rested an alien shuttle. Unlike the crystalline warships, this vehicle was smaller and more practical, though still strange to human eyes with its flowing, organic lines. "Remember," Sujin told her team as they prepared to disembark, "we represent not just the Invictus asterisk, but all of humanity. This may be the most important first contact in our history." They stepped out onto the asteroid's surface, the artificial gravity generators in their boots keeping them from floating away into low gravity. The air was contained by a thin, shimmering force field that the Concordat had established around the meeting area. From the alien shuttle emerged 3 figures. In the lead was Commander Munhee, recognizable from their earlier communication. Behind her came 2 others, one with an array of technical devices that Sujin guessed was their science officer, and another wearing elaborate ceremonial garments that suggested a diplomatic role. The 2 groups stopped about 5 meters apart. No one spoke for a long moment. Taking the initiative, Sujin stepped forward and placed her datapad on the ground between them. She then stepped back and made a small bow, a human gesture of respect that she hoped would translate across species barriers. "Commander Munhee," she said, her words translated by the device Yuna had programmed. "Thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I believe we have much to discuss." Munhee's facial ridges pulsed with colors, blue, then purple, then a deep red. The alien commander studied Sujin with large, multifaceted eyes that reflected the starlight in odd patterns. "Captain Sujin," the alien finally responded, "your weapon systems are formidable. Your defense is impressive. Yet you come here unarmed. Explain this contradiction." Sujin gestured to the datapad. "May I show you something?" After a moment's hesitation, Munhee nodded. Sujin activated the datapad, and a holographic display appeared above it. The image showed Earth, blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown landmasses. "This is our homeworld," Sujin explained. "Earth. For most of our history, we rarely left its surface. Only in the past few centuries have we ventured into space." She touched the display, and the image changed to show human cities, farms, schools, and parks. Ordinary people going about their daily lives. "We are not warriors by nature," Sujin continued. "We are explorers, scientists, artists, builders. Yes, we have fought wars. Yes, we have developed weapons, but that is not the sum of who we are." Munhee moved closer to examine the images, curiosity evident in her posture. "Your scan data showed thousands of years of continuous warfare. How can you claim peace as your nature?" Han Bin stepped forward. "If I may, Captain." When Sujin nodded, he addressed the alien commander. "Your scan captured our military archives. Those archives represent only a small fraction of human history and culture. Would you judge an entire ocean by examining only its storms?" The alien diplomat behind Munhee moved forward, speaking for the first time. "Your metaphor is interesting, human. But storms do not build warships." "No," Sujin agreed. "Fear builds warships, and in space, there is much to fear." She changed the display again, showing the Invictus surrounded by the 7 Concordat vessels. "When we found ourselves surrounded by ships we did not know, with weapons pointed at us, what should we have done? Run? Surrendered? Fought? We chose to try to communicate, even when our attempts were met with hostility. Munhee's facial ridges pulsed rapidly. You neutralized our warning shot with remarkable precision. Our military analysts believe your point defense systems could have destroyed our entire fleet had you chosen to use them offensively. But we didn't, Sujin emphasized. Because that's not why we're here. She switched the display again, this time showing the mission parameters of the asterisk, Invictus asterisk, to explore, to discover new life, to establish peaceful contact with alien civilizations. The Concordat science officer moved forward, examining the data closely. Your mission objectives appear genuine, he admitted. But how can we trust a species with such capacity for violence? Yuna, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. May I ask a question? When Munhee nodded, she continued, your species, has it never faced threats? Predators, natural disasters, competition for resources. The three aliens exchanged glances. Munhee responded, the worlds of the Concordat are largely peaceful. Our evolution favored cooperation over competition. We have no natural predators. Then perhaps that explains the misunderstanding. Yuna suggested gently. Humans evolved on a world full of dangers. Our capacity for violence developed as a response to threats, a way to survive. But alongside it grew our capacity for cooperation, for sacrifice, for protecting those weaker than ourselves. Sujin activated the final set of images, humans helping each other during disasters, working together to build great structures, celebrating cultural achievements, teaching children, exploring space. Yes, we can fight, Sujin said quietly. But we would rather build. We would rather discover. We would rather connect. The asterisk Invictus asterisk carries weapons because space is vast and unknown. But its primary mission is peaceful exploration. A long silence followed. The three aliens conferred among themselves in their native language, too complex for the translation matrix to interpret. Finally, Munhee turned back to Sujin. Your explanation has merit, Captain. But words are easy. Actions are what matter. I agree, Sujin replied. That's why I propose an exchange. Allow one of your people to stay aboard the asterisk, Invictus asterisk, as an observer, and one of my crew will join your vessel. Let us learn about each other directly, not through scans and assumptions. Munhee's facial ridges pulsed with surprise. You would trust one of us on your ship. You would trust one of your people to us. Trust must begin somewhere, Sujin said simply. We came to explore and to learn. What better way than this? The alien commander studied Sujin for a long moment, her multifaceted eyes unreadable. Then, slowly, she extended a four-fingered hand in what appeared to be their version of a greeting gesture. Perhaps, Munhee said, we have more to learn from humans than we realized. As the two leaders clasped hands, human and alien, the stars continued their eternal watch over the small asteroid. What had begun as a dangerous confrontation had transformed into something else entirely. The first step toward understanding. The Concordat Council reconvened, this time with Captain Sujin present as Earth's representative. The chamber hummed with nervous energy as the various counselors debated the human question. These humans are dangerous, yes, acknowledged Sungho. But their adaptability and defensive technologies are precisely what we need against the void entities approaching from the galactic rim. In a gesture of extraordinary trust, Sujin invited a delegation from the Concordat aboard the asterisk Invictus asterisk. The aliens moved through the ship with a mixture of fear and fascination. Your people created all this? Asked Munhee, examining the ship's hydroponics bay where engineer Junseo Ryu was developing new methods for growing food in deep space. Humans are problem solvers, Junseo explained. When faced with a challenge, we innovate. As the tour concluded on the observation deck, Science Director Sungho approached Captain Sujin with excitement. Captain, our preliminary analysis suggests your shield harmonics could be modified to repel the energy-draining fields used by the void entities. With your permission, I would like to propose a joint research initiative. And so, from a simple scan that had nearly led to conflict, an unlikely alliance was born. The Invictus was redesignated as the first joint human Concordat exploration vessel, with a mixed crew of both species working together to face the challenges of deep space. Captain Su-jin stood on the bridge beside Commander Mun-hee, watching as their combined fleet prepared to depart. "It's strange to think," Su-jin mused, "that what your people feared most about us, our history of overcoming conflict, might be exactly what saves both our civilizations." Mun-hee's facial ridges pulsed with what Su-jin had learned was an expression of agreement. Perhaps all species have their purpose in the greater cosmos. The stars stretched before them, endless possibilities waiting to be discovered by this new partnership born of misunderstanding, forged in crisis, and now united in purpose. The great circular chamber of the Concordat Council was unlike anything Captain Su-jin had ever seen. The walls shimmered with living crystal that seemed to pulse with thoughts and emotions. 7 raised platforms surrounded a central speaking area, each representing one of the major species of the Galactic Concordat. Su-jin stood in the center, feeling very small and very human. "The human captain will now address the council," announced Admiral Hyunwoo, his voice echoing in the vast space. Su-jin stepped forward, her heart pounding. She had faced space storms, rogue asteroids, and system malfunctions, but nothing had prepared her for the weight of this moment. Representing all of humanity before an alien council, honored representatives of the Concordat, she began, her words translated by the device Yuna had created. 3 days ago, our vessels met in conflict. Today, I stand before you in peace. This change was possible because we chose to communicate rather than fight." The council members watched her silently, their alien features impossible to read. Su-jin continued, "I understand now why our first encounter went wrong. You scanned our ship and saw weapons. You accessed our history and saw war. These things exist, yes, but they are not the whole story of humanity." She activated a small projector she had brought. Above her, images appeared, Earth's great cities and natural wonders, human art and music, scientific achievements, and exploration missions. We are explorers by nature. We seek knowledge, we adapt to challenges. And yes, when threatened, we fight. But our greatest strength is not our weapons. It is our ability to overcome problems, to innovate, to work together. Science Director Sung-ho stepped down from his platform to stand beside Su-jin. His facial ridges pulsed with colors that Su-jin had learned indicated support. "Esteemed colleagues," Sung-ho addressed the council, "while examining the human vessel, I discovered something remarkable. Their defensive shield technology operates on principles we have never considered. My analysis suggests it could be modified to counter the energy fields deployed by the void entities." A murmur ran through the council. Su-jin had learned about the void entities during her negotiations with Commander Mun-hee, mysterious beings from the galactic rim that had destroyed several outer Concordat colonies. Their energy-draining fields rendered Concordat weapons useless. "We face a threat unlike any in our history," Sung-ho continued. "The void entities do not respond to communication. They do not negotiate. They simply consume. Perhaps what we need now is not just our peaceful ways, but also the human capacity for defense and adaptation." Admiral Hyunwoo, who had initially been the most suspicious of the humans, now joined them in the center. "I have reviewed Captain Su-jin's tactical suggestions. They offer approaches we have never considered. The humans understand conflict in ways we do not, and that understanding may save countless Concordat lives." The council deliberated for hours. Su-jin stood patiently, answering questions about Earth, human history, and technology. Finally, the chief counselor, an ancient being whose translucent skin revealed swirling patterns of light beneath, raised all 4 of her hands for silence. "Captain Su-jin of Earth," the chief counselor spoke, "we have reached a consensus. The Concordat extends an offer of alliance to humanity. We propose a joint mission against the void entities, sharing knowledge and resources for our mutual benefit. Su Jin bowed deeply. On behalf of Earth, I accept your offer with gratitude and hope. 3 days later, the Invictus welcomed aboard its first Concordat visitors. The human crew had prepared for this moment, studying the cultural briefings Yuna had created and adjusting environmental controls to suit alien biology. Commander Munhee led the delegation, accompanied by Science Director Sung Ho and 5 other specialists. Their facial ridges pulsed with nervous colors as they stepped aboard the human vessel. "Welcome to the Invictus *" Su Jin greeted them. "We are honored by your presence." The tour began in engineering, where Min Su showed the visitors the ship's power systems. The aliens were fascinated by the redundancies built into every system. Backup generators, emergency protocols, manual overrides. "You prepare for failure so thoroughly," Sung Ho observed. "We design our systems to work perfectly. You design yours to survive imperfection. Humans expect things to go wrong," Min Su explained with a smile. "It's part of our nature to prepare for problems." In the medical bay, Dr. Hai Jin showed the aliens' human biology and explained how the medical team could adapt to treat Concordat physiology if needed. The aliens were amazed by the variety of emergency treatments and surgical options. "Your medicine assumes damage will occur," noted one of the alien medical officers. "Ours focuses almost entirely on prevention." "Different approaches to the same goal," Hai Jin replied. "Keeping people alive and healthy." The hydroponics bay particularly impressed the visitors. Engineer Jun Seo had created growing systems that could adapt to different gravity conditions, light levels, and atmospheric compositions. "Your people created all this?" asked Munhee, examining the lush plants growing in carefully controlled environments. "Humans are problem solvers," Jun Seo explained proudly. "When faced with a challenge, we innovate." As the tour concluded on the observation deck, with its spectacular view of the stars, Science Director Sung Ho approached Captain Su Jin with excitement in his voice. "Captain, our preliminary analysis of your shield harmonics suggests they could be modified to repel the energy-draining fields used by the void entities. With your permission, I would like to propose a joint research initiative." "Of course," Su Jin agreed immediately. "We'll assign our best engineers to work with your team." Over the next weeks, the Invictus was transformed. Concordat technology merged with human innovation. New systems were installed, tested, and refined. Human crew members learned to work alongside their alien counterparts, each bringing different perspectives and skills. The ship was officially redesignated as the first joint human Concordat exploration vessel. Its mission: to investigate the void entity incursions and develop defenses against them. It would lead a combined fleet to the Galactic Rim, where the mysterious threat lurked. On the day of departure, Captain Su Jin stood on the bridge beside Commander Munhee. Through the view screen, they could see the combined fleet, sleek Concordat vessels alongside the more utilitarian human ships. "It's strange to think," Su Jin mused, "that what your people feared most about us, our history of overcoming conflict, might be exactly what saves both our civilizations." Munhee's facial ridges pulsed with what Su Jin had learned was an expression of agreement. Perhaps all species have their purpose in the greater cosmos. The stars stretched before them, endless possibilities waiting to be discovered by this new partnership born of misunderstanding, forged in crisis, and now united in purpose.